Hey, what's going on, fellow wealth builders? I think today is probably a good time to talk about the crypto market and where I think it's going in the coming weeks and months ahead. Hi, my name is Jeremy, and if you want to follow along my journey as I build wealth for my family, then subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon so you don't miss a thing. Remember, none of this is intended to be financial advice. I am merely a guy sitting in front of a computer talking to a camera. Let's get to it. All right, so if you've been looking at the market in the last couple of days, you can see here that everything is sort of just tanking. Right now, Bitcoin's at $57,000. If you look at the actual chart for the last, 3 months, I think, you can see here we sort of had a steady rise up, hit 66,000 or so in October, came back down, and then went to an all new all-time high here just about a week ago, 69,000. Now we're sort of dropping back down. So what do I think? Do I think we're going into a bear market, or is a bull market going to continue on? I think that we're probably going to continue to drop for just a little while. We're at 54, 57. I think we'll probably get down to about 54 or so. And then we're going to see a bounce back off of that, coming up to likely some all-new all-time highs. I think that we're going to hit 100,000 or close to it, maybe 90,000 in the next few months, maybe even in the next month. But we'll see how that goes. But overall, you can see that we are just, by and large, we're down. You can see Avalanche has been doing well. It's at 99 right now. You can see the chart compared to the others. Crypto Coin has done well. I guess there was a big announcement about one of the big stadiums being named after Crypto.com. Decentraland had another big climb compared to some of the other ones, up 9% today. Sandbox, again, up 32% in today. But let's look at some of the other tokens that we've talked about recently. Empire right now, you can see, is at 5.5 cents. Now, if you would have gotten into Empire whenever I talked about it first on the channel, I believe the price was right around half a cent. I think 0.6 pennies, 0.6 cents. And you can see, let's go look at the month chart. You can see when I first mentioned Empire, it was right around this point right here. Where are we at? No, it was even before that. Zoom out a little bit. I started mentioning Empire right in this area, October 12th or so. And you can see this just blow up. It went up to it's about 17 cents. It would have been a great time to pull out some profits if you rode it all the way up to there. And obviously it pulled back down. Now we're at about 5 cents, 5.5 cents. If you happen to get in whenever I mentioned it, then you are still doing well. You're probably still up 10x from whenever you got in. There is a link. I'll put a link up here. You can go watch the original video where I talked about Empire and also walk you through the process of buying it if you're still interested in Empire. I still believe long-term Empire has some massive potentials. It's only at a $45 million market cap, and there's only 1 billion tokens in circulation. So I think it's got a whole lot of gains. I mean, we know that Theta is 1 billion tokens as well. It's about 7 billion market cap right now. I had some people make some comments in some of the Empire videos that Empire was a scam coin that you weren't able to sell. I don't know where they got that. In fact, some of them asked me to create a video, show you how to sell. So I did that. I'm not publishing it on this channel. I put it in the Patreon. So if you are a member of the Patreon, you want to know how to sell your Empire, it's really not that difficult, but I did make a video. I put it on the Patreon. So if you're interested in that, consider joining the Patreon. You can gain access to that. You can also gain access to some tokens that I haven't even talked about on the channel. There's some news coming out recently. They are continuing to work on their NFT marketplace. I think there's now 2 different blockchains that you can transact on, and they're just continuing to add more. And the really cool thing, a few weeks ago, their CEO mentioned something called Goosebumps, which is a decentralized exchange and portfolio tracker that they are going to be building. And supposedly, my understanding, the way that it's going to work is all you'll have to do is put your wallet address, your public wallet address in there, and it can track your entire portfolio. It'll be able to see what tokens you have, at what price you bought them, what price you sold them. For people in the US, it's going to be great for tracking your gains and losses for tax purposes. And the other cool thing is, I think, my understanding is they're going to give you so many wallet addresses for free, and then you'll have to pay if you want to monitor more wallet addresses. And you have to purchase Empire token to pay for that service every month. And I believe it's something like 25 or 50% of the revenue that they generate from that, they're going to redistribute back to token holders. So it's pretty interesting what they're aiming to do. You can see here, the NFT marketplace is here. There's a button now for their DEX, but it doesn't work yet. And then Theta, Theta is one of those things that has been a disappointment, I'll be honest with you. I really would have hoped that it would move better than it has. Obviously, we got up into like the $13, $14, $15 range back in April, and then it came back down, and it's sort of just been steady, sort of flat along the way. But if you know anything about reading charts, and whether it's stocks or even crypto, when you get those long, flat, really not much action up or down, those are the times that you tend to get these explosive moves way up. And so I think that Theta is primed right now to really explode over the next month, 3 weeks, month, maybe into the early new year. What it could go to, I don't know. I bet it could get into the $30, $35 range. Possible it could go higher, but I think that's probably a good safe bet. And Tfuel, right now is at 31 cents. You can see here, if we go to the 3-month chart, sort of didn't do a whole lot. 28 cents up to 38 cents, back down to 32 cents. So it's sort of in that same deal, just sort of steady, flat along the way. I think there's still some huge potential with Tfuel and Theta, and obviously T-Drop. If you happen to have Theta staked, then you should be earning T-Drop in January whenever they launch that. I also talked about some other tokens and things that I'm looking at on the Patreon that I don't necessarily talk on the channel. In fact, I mentioned last week on the Patreon about a token that launched last Friday. It was pre-sale before it even went on PancakeSwap. In about 48 hours, it 10x'd. And so if you would have seen that, obviously you could have had some decent gains on that. And so that's some of the things that we talk about on the Patreon. So if any of that interests you, consider subscribing to the Patreon group. Thanks so much for watching this. I've got another one starting right over here. Go click on that one, and I will see you over there.